Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're watching this video from. It's IK Math Academy. You are watching. So today, what am I going to do? This is the paper I'm going to do today. Are you ready? This is the paper I'm going to do October, November 2025, variant 4.3. Okay. Are you ready? It's a paper 4 question. So we are going to go through this paper together. I'll show you some steps, some tips of exams which you need to know. Okay? If you have any question or any problem, just write in the comments. I'll get back to you. Thank you very much. Without further ado, let us start the paper, right? These are the formulas which are given in the exams, but always advise students it's better if you memorize them. So question 1. They gave you the nth term. This is the formula given. Then they said find the sixth term. That means this is the nth term. Where there is n, you have to put there 6. So that's why I said I did 5 minus 2 bracket 6. Yeah, then when you open the brackets here, you get 5 minus 12, and 5 minus 12 gives you minus 7. Okay? Is that okay for everyone? I hope you have understood that. Now, find the greatest number in this sequence. So the trick in the question here is just simply to know this sequence is decreasing. It's starting from 5, from the constant number. So it's like this. So it's decreasing. Normally the smallest, whenever we say n stamp, we mean n will start from 1, go 2, 3, 4, and then keep on going. You get that, guys? So now, what does this mean? This means that if n is 1, you either get the smallest number or you get the largest number. If your sequence is increasing or decreasing, 1 will help you to know exactly. So let me show you one thing here for you. So I did 5 minus 2, and then I put there when n is 1. For first term, I got 3. Can I try to do 5 minus the second 2 bracket for second term? Okay. So if I do for second term, I'm going to get 5 minus 4. And what do I get, guys? You see, I'm getting 1. My sequence is decreasing. Basically, it means I have 3, 1, then the difference is 2. I hope you have seen that. That's easy. 1 minus 2, it will give me negative 1. Do you get that? Then negative 3. So your sequence is decreasing. So if it's decreasing, the biggest number or the greatest number will be that. And that's the one they were asking you. So the answer is positive 3. I hope you have understood that. Good. Question 2. Now, for question 2, this is term and drift. It's a part of statistics. So the numbers are arranged here. You need to see the key given. Where you're seeing 3, it means 32 as the number of years. Okay. For 16 adults, those are the key points, key important things you need to know whenever you're interpreting any question. Then they said find the mod. Mod is the number that appears the most, or the number with the highest frequency. Now, if that's the case, check your numbers. So this is 32, this is 33, 33. This is what I'm talking about. This is 32. This is that. Then if I pick this number and this, it is 33, 33. Then 35, 36, 37, 40, 41, 45, 45, 46, 8, 9. So 51 is appearing 3 times. So that's why the mod will be 51. I hope you have understood. Is appearing how many times? This is 51, 51, 51. So it's appearing 3 times. While the 45 is appearing 2 times. And 33 is appearing 3 times. I hope you have understood that. Very good. Okay. Now, the next question is finding the median. So median for a grouped data, I simply say n plus 1 divided by 2. Okay, I'm doing question B. So what is the number of terms? There are 16. What's 16 plus 1? 17. 17 divided by 2, you get 8.5. So there's no position, because when you do n plus 1 divided by 2, what do you get? You get the position of your median number. So 5.5, there's no other position. That's not a position. That means the number we are talking about is on position 8 and position 9. 8th position and 9th position. So we have to check which number is on 8th position. 32, 33. So I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 8. So the number that is on position 8 is the 41. What about the one on 14? I mean, position 9. 9th position is 45. That's why here you see I did 41 plus 45 divided by 2. So when you add them, what do you get? You get 86. 86 divided by 2. 86 divided by 2. That gives me 43. So that's your median. And whenever your n is even, all the time you mean with the two numbers and you divide them by 2. Okay, very good. Question C, find the percentage of the 16 adults with an average of less than 38 years. Okay, those who are less than 38. Those who are less than 38. So what is 38? So 38 is the, they said less than 38. So this is 37. So 38 would be somewhere here. So this is 40 something. So how many numbers are those? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 numbers in total of 16. So it will mean 6 out of 16 times 100 and get your percentage. Have you understood that? Excuse me. Okay, very good. I hope you have understood. They said less than 38. So 38 is this 37, so 38 will be here. I counted the numbers. I got 6 out of 16, and then I got that. Very good. Question 3. They gave you G as 4 over 5 m squared n. Find the value of G where m is 6 and n is 15. This is just a simple substitution, and calculator is allowed. Just substitute your numbers there, and then you're going to have that. Okay, question 4 is about bearing, one of the common topics in IGCSE, so very important. But this is bearing mixed with the scale drawing, where you need to draw. So the scale given is this. And they told you the town B is 12 kilometers from town B on the bearing of this. Okay, it's going on the bearing of this. You have to remember in bearing, all angles are measured from north line to, from north, and then you go clockwise. You measure them from the north, and then you go clockwise. So because they say the ET, that's why I'm measuring from this north line, and then I put there my 80 degrees. Now, you have to use a protractor, guys. Okay, you have to measure 80 degrees from the north using your protractor. And then you have to measure, because they said it's 2 kilometers, but the scale is 1 centimeter to 2 kilometers. You have to get 12 divided by 2 gives you 6, and then you use your ruler to measure this. And this one should be 60 centimeters. So for me, it's not on the scale, but for you, we are expected to draw it using scale. Measure 80 degrees with your protractor and use your ruler to measure that. Very good. That's question A. B. The bearing of C from D is 130 degrees. Okay. And they said from D. So all angles are measured from letter from. They said from D. So that's why I say I marked D here. I had to put there my north line, and then I measure my 130 degrees because this is the 90 degrees. So 130 will come down here, right? So if this is 130 degrees and angles on the straight line make 180 degrees, this is 50 degrees. And alternate angles are equal. So if alternate angles are equal, this is 50, and also this will be 50. Then they said, work out the bearing of D from C. Work out the bearing of D from C. I have to move from the north line of C, go clockwise until I meet point T, until I meet the line joining C, D. That is the angle they're talking about. This is the angle, okay? So the whole of this is 360. So, and this is 50. So that's why you say I did it 360 minus 50, and it gave me 110 degrees. Okay, thank you very much. Wow, very good question here. The question here is about, they're saying it's a decagon. Decagon means it's a polygon with 10 sides. That's the first thing you have to see in the exam. Then they also said the line AB is a line of symmetry of a diagonal. That means of a decagon, sorry. So meaning if this line is dividing our angle equally, okay? Now, this question, you can do it in 2 ways. You can do it in 2 ways. One way you can do it is using the formula, finding sum of all interior angles, sum of all interior angles, sum of all interior angles, okay? Sum of interior angles is given by number of sides minus 2 times 180, okay? Then divide by, now, that is the sum for all of them. Now, if you divide by n, you're going to get the size of one of interior angle. This is the formula to find the sum of all interior angles, and it's regular polygon. So if I know the sum of all angles and I know all the angles are equal, I'm going to get the sum divided by n. So one interior angle, you just get this one divided by that. That's why you see I did 180 bracket the number of sides minus 2 divided by 10 to get the size of one interior angle, which is this one, 144. But D is a half of that. So you get 144 divided by 2, that gives you that. Now, another way of doing that question, by the way, it's very important and very crucial. Sincerely speaking, it's very important to know what method is in your exam, because it will depend on the question. Sometimes you need to go with the sum of interior angles and get one interior angle. Other days you need to know that one exterior angle is equal to 360 divided by number of sides. So if I get 360, divide number of sides, which are 10, I'll get 360 degrees. But we know that the interior angle and exterior angle add up to 180 degrees. So to get one interior angle, I'll get 180 degrees minus 360 gives me 144 degrees, which is the one interior angle. Now I divide by 2 to get the value of D, and both of them are giving you the same value. Thank you. Question D. The exterior angle of a regular polygon with any side is 45. Exactly what I've been talking about. You see here. So if you know this formula and you know this one helps, it's very helpful. This time around here, it's very important to follow this one, and I work it out so fast. So from the formula I wrote here, what did I say? Exterior angle is equal to 360 over number of sides. So now this time, by doing simple algebra, so number of sides will be equal to 360 divided by the exterior angle, one exterior angle. Do you get that, guys? Exterior angle. Is that okay? Okay, that will be the formula. Now, that's why here I have to get 360 divided by one exterior angle, which is 45 degrees, and then I'll get the value of n, and the answer is 8. Okay, remember in this paper, you have a calculator. Okay, very good. Now, question 6, y power 5 divided by y squared. It's just remembering a power m divided by a power n, and that will give you a power m minus n. I have a very good video only on rows of indices, okay? If you want to revise them, if you want to understand fully and understand the indices very well, I just compiled all the past paper questions on indices. You can go on my YouTube channel and watch that one, okay? So here we have to subtract the powers, and when you get 5 minus 2, that will give me y power 5. Now, this one again, here we are multiplying, so we get this times that gives you 15, and here we know that m times a power n. When you are multiplying numbers of the same basis, you add the powers. Do you understand, guys? So when you are multiplying, you add the powers. When you are dividing, you subtract the powers. So that's the answer, okay? Question 7 is about transformation, okay? This question, they said describe a single transformation that maps triangle D onto triangle E. D onto E, right? Is that what they said? Yes. So what transforms, what kind of a transformation that takes this triangle D from this point to E? So as you can see, the shape stays the same. They just move the shape from one place to another. That can be rotation, it can be enlargement, it can be refraction. It's just only translation. So if it's translation, it moved how many steps? So you can just consider two corresponding points, this one and this one, right? Any point, any similar point. You can even use this and this one, or this and this. Let me just use this, okay? So this point moved how many steps to the right? 1, 2. To move 2 units to the right in the right direction. So positive 2. Down moved how many steps? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Negative 8. That's why you see here, I said translation with a translation vector to negative 8. I hope you have understood, okay? Now, the next question, describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle D onto triangle F, okay? D onto F. As you can see, the triangle D is bigger than triangle F. In other words, there was the enlargement. When I say enlargement, don't simply understand it became big. No, here it can be enlargement where the scale factor is less than 1. Okay, the scale factor is between -1 and 1. So that means the image is going to reduce. And if the image, when it reduces, then when the scale factor is less than 1, greater than -1 and less than 1, you're going to have the image which is smaller than the object. I hope you have understood that. Now, so let me start by finding the scale factor. So we agree it's enlargement, guys, okay? Because they don't have the same size. So it's enlargement. With which scale factor? You can go with any. I can decide to go with this. Do you see this one here? Okay. So how wrong is that? Let me just count here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. It's 4, right? Let me write it here. Okay. This is this one, which is the same as this. Is that okay, guys? So 1, 2. I can continue up. Let me count it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that means the image is 4 divided by 12. And when you simplify, that gives you 1/3. That's your scale factor. But be careful, because whenever you're doing enlargement, you have to be careful. You have to first determine the center of enlargement, and then you determine. So center of enlargement, you join the two corresponding lines. So me, I chose to join this one. Okay, this is this one as well. This one and this one. Draw a line joining the two. This one and this. And this one, you see, this was easier. This one and this. When you join the lines of those 2 points, they are meeting here. And if you check, that one is going to be -3, 4. That's center of enlargement. And the center of enlargement is between the image and the object. That happens on and only if your scale factor is negative. So if that's the case, so it's enlargement, scale factor -1/3, and center of enlargement -3, 4. Don't say -3/4. It's -3, 4. Do you understand why it made the scale factor negative? It's because the center of enlargement is between object and the image. Thank you. Okay. Good. Question 8. M is a positive integer. Write down the values in order. This is just arranging the numbers from the smallest. This is M, which you can consider to be 100%. This 33% of that. That's basically, it is 33/100 times M, right? Okay, because of means multiplication. This is 1/3, 1/3 times M. Are we together here? What about here? Here it means 320/100 times M/10. So as you can see, this is, they will cancel with that, and then it gives me 32. Let me write it down here. 32/100 of M, so which will be give me that. Now, when you do your calculations, as you can see, this is the smallest, right? Because it's 32. It's 32/100 of M. Okay, so it's the smallest because this 33/100 of M. This is 1/3, which is like 33.3% of your M. So this is the smallest, followed by 33%. This is 33.3, followed by that, and then the last one will be that one. Okay, very good. Draw a ring around the calculation that is equivalent to this. Just simple calculations here. It means I'll get N divided by 13. Write this one into mixed fraction. So here you do times 2 times 5. 2 times 5 will give me 10. 10 plus 3 will give me 13/5. And if you are dividing, you change the multiplication sign into multiplication, division sign into multiplication sign, and then you flip the second part. So it's n times 5/13. And if you check, this one is exactly the same as that. Question 10. It's about simultaneous questions. There is one because the coefficients of y are the same. So I don't need to do balancing equations, I'll simply add. When I get this plus that, it will give me 5x. And when I add here, I'll get 50, divide by 5 both sides. When I divide by 5 both sides, I'm going to have x equals z. X is going to be 10. After getting x equals 10, substitute in any of the equations. I decided to go with the first equation, which is 3x plus 5y equals to 5. So 3 bracket 10 plus 5y equals to 5. When I open the bracket here, I'll get 15. Correct like terms, I'll take 15 the other side. I mean, sorry, 5 times 10 is the 30. When I take it on the other side, it will be minus the 30. So that will be 5y equals to 5 minus 30. And that will give me 25. So I can just continue here. Y is equal to negative 25. And then you divide by 5. And then x will be that and y will be that one. Okay. Very good. Next question. It's about standard form, which is also common in exams. Very important and very important, by the way, even when you're doing your sciences. I'm talking about doing chemistry or IB mathematics, I mean physics and the IB chemistry. Very important to know, okay? Use the box, use a number from the box to complete each statement. Here they said, find the number that is not in the standard form. Any number in the standard form should be a times z 10 power n, where a should always be less than 10, but also greater than 0. Do you get that? So this is a. Whenever your number in the standard form, you should always have this. So when you check, the number that is not respecting this, it's only this. The rest they are a. This is that. This is your a is respecting this rule. So it's only that one. What's the largest number? The largest number, you just check, this is the times 10 power negative 1. Basically, you're dividing by 10. Here you're multiplying by 10 power 12, 10 power 1, 10 power 11. So the biggest number is this one. The smallest number, this is power negative. This is, you're divided by 100,000. Here you're divided by 10. So the smallest number will be that one. Okay? Very good. The next question is about probability. They tell you a vase contains flowers that are red or pink or white. Okay? Ruth picks a flower at random from the vase. The probability that a flower is not red is the, so you have to know that probability of A plus probability of A complement equals 1. So basing on that, it means if the probability of not red is going to be 1 minus 0.9. That's why you see here I have 1. Is that okay? Probability, because probability of red and not red should add up to 1. So probability, therefore I have to get 1 minus 0.9. That will give me probability of getting a flower that is red. The probability that the flower is not pink. So again, using the same formula, probability of A plus probability of A complement. Probability of A and not A is 1. So I'm going to get 1 minus 0.065. Altogether here, I hope you understand what I'm talking about. So that means if I work out that, that's why I have that one. This probability of pink, that's probability of red, because I have probability of not red and probability of not pink. Now, find the probability that a flower is white. Remember, in your vase, you have only 3 colors there. You have red flower, a red flower, sorry, you have a pink flower, and you have a white one. Meaning, if I get these probabilities all together, should add up to 1. So that's why I have to get 1 minus the probability of red flower and probability of pink flower. So if I subtract that, I'll get 1. Because you have to remember, if I get probability of if I get the probability of red, because those are the only colors we have, plus probability of pink, plus probability of white flower, it should give me 1. So if I have this and this, so probability of white will be equal to 1 minus probability of red plus, oh, sorry, my bad, sorry, plus probability of probability of pink. Okay, that's what I did here, and that's your answer. You have got your 2 free marks. Okay. Next question. They gave you an equation here, and then that equation it is going through this point. So then they say find the y coordinate of the point on the curve when the x coordinate is given. So I can't find the value of y until and unless I've managed to get the value of c. So to get the value of c, what do? We have to use this point. So that's why I say I substituted here. So this is the y value. That's the one I'm replacing here. So y is the 1024 equal to c power 5. Now, when you reach here now, you can just simply, there are 2 ways you can do here. I decided to do that one, and the reverse of power 5 is c doing 1/5. And then you type this in a calculator, you get your answer as 4. Or you do 5th root of your number, and then it will gives you that, and then the answer will be 4. And we have got the value of c. So y equals to 4 power x, because c is 4. And then we put there the value of y. This is that, guys. This is the value of y. So that means I'll get y equals to 4 power negative 2, which is the 1/4 power 2, and the base carry will simply give me 1/16. And if you can write this one as a fraction, or you give a decimal, because this is a calculator in paper. Okay, very good. Let me ask you a favor, guys. Like, share, and comment, please. Okay. Okay, that is a favor I'm asking you. Okay, very good. You can even tell me if there's a topic you don't understand, you want me to do a topic of questions, or is the topic you want me to explain to you, just write in the comments. EK Math will get back to you. I like teaching and I enjoy teaching mathematics. So, okay, that's my favorite. That's my passion. Question 14. These expressions are equal. The keyword here, they are equal. This one equals to this, and then equals to that. Now, the trick in the question here, as I told you, I'll be teaching you some tricks in the exam. Here you have to be smart enough and realize we should equate them, all of them. But if I include this one, I mean, I'm bringing in 2 variables. Yes, I have one equation. So that the easier way, just equate this, and this one's where you have only one variable, which is x. So, and then you solve. After getting x, you're going to get the value of y. So 5x minus 2/3 equals to 10x minus c. I mean 10 minus x. Now, the next step, this is over 1, cross multiply. So you get 5x minus 2 equals to 3 bracket 10 minus c x. So 5x minus 2 equals to, open the bracket, I'll get 3 times 10, which is 30, times that, I'll get this one. The next step is correcting like terms. This is 5x and this 3x. And the sign is minus. When I bring it the other side, it will be plus. And then this is minus 2. When it goes on the other side, it will be plus. This one. So that means I'll get 8x equals 32. Divided by 8, I'll get 4. That's the x value. But we said they are equal. So if they are equal, we have got the x as what, guys? 4. So that means it will be 10 minus 4, which will give you 6. So that means 6 is equal to y plus 11. Altogether here. Then 4, it means I'll get 6 minus 11 to get the value of y. So y is negative 5. Okay? Very good. Question 15. The population of a town is 54,000. The population is decreasing exponentially at a rate of 2% per year. Okay, very good. Percent per year is 2%. Now, this question is just about knowing the compound interest formula. But let me write here, compound interest formula, 1 plus r over 100 power number of years, okay? Now, it is plus when the population or anything you're dealing with, you are trying to work with, it's increasing exponentially. This one is decreasing exponentially, so my formula will be equal to p bracket 1 minus r of 100 power n. Okay? Now, so if that's the case, So they're asking us to find the population, calculate the decrease in population at the end of 4 years. So I have to know at the beginning 54,000. So after 4 years, what is going to be the population of this town? So that's why I'm using this formula. And after 4 years, the population is this. And initially, the population was this. So what's the decrease? You get this minus that. That's what you see I did here. Minus this, then gives you the decrease of the population. And the population can never be a decimal. So I gave it to be this. Okay, very good. Now, find the number of complete years it takes for the population of 54,000 to fast fall below. The keyword here is, be careful with that. Again, it's exactly the same formula, but this time we have the population after a certain period of time. We don't know if this one happened after 2 years or 3 years, but what we know it will be, here I'm just giving an example, but we know that after 4 years, the population is this. It's this one. 49,000. So all we know is after 4. Now, let me just work out. So it will be 54,000. 44,000 equals to 54,000. Bracket 1 minus 2 power, 1 minus 2 over 100 power n. Now, if you're not doing additional math, this is the way you're going to do this question. Already for 4 years, you know it's going to be 49,000. Do you remember? That's what we calculated here. And this is 44,000. So you have to do try and error using your calculator, and you see which year will give you the population closer to that. So when I did 10 years, this is what I'm getting. But they told me to be below, to be smaller than that. So that's what will happen when you go with the 10 years. That's when it will happen. So basically, if you replace this one as 11, you are going to have the population of this town to be less than 44,000. Have you understood? If you have not understood, write in the comments. I'll get back to you any day, anytime. Math, we love mathematics. Okay? Very good. But by the way, before I do the next question, if you're doing additional math, you can just solve this question using you apply your logarithm or ln, and then you do the question and it becomes primary work. Okay? That's why I always advise students, if you have interest in mathematics, it's always very important to do IGCSE additional math. It gives you a strong foundation for A-level mathematics or IBDP mathematics, especially for AAHM mathematics. Okay, very good. Question 16. Now, for question 16, what do we have? For question 16, what do we have? They're saying, very easy. This is a simple expansion. So I open the bracket, I'll get 7x plus 14. Here will be 12x minus 4 times 5 is minus 20. And then you correct like terms, 7x plus that one gives you that. And then 14 minus 20, which is that side. And when you get 7x plus 12 gives you 19. And 14 minus 20 gives you minus 6. Okay? Here it's expansion, which you can do it by just, we call it FOIL, right? You get that? You multiply like that. So that is 3x times 5x gives me 15x. 3x times 2y gives me 6xy. And then minus y times 5x gives me minus 5xy. Then minus y times 2y will give me minus 2y squared. So the next step here, you have to correct it like terms. So if you are correcting like terms, it's only these ones that are the same. So here I'll get 15x squared, and 6xy minus 5xy will give me xy, and that is your answer. Simple, free maths of algebra here. And I have, by the way, I have a video on factorization. I compiled the IGCSE past paper question factorization. If you're interested in understanding factorization, you can go and watch that video. Question 17. It's about subject of the formula. So step 1, just do cross multiplication. So it gives me x equals to 5 minus t equals to 7t. Remember making t the subject. So open the brackets, I'll get 5x minus xt equals to 7t. What are we making the subject? We are making x the subject. We are making what? X the subject. So if I'm making x the subject, and what you are making the subject is appearing on the two variables. So which you can't add or subtract. You correct like terms and then factorize. That's why you see I took this on the other side, because I have t here and also I have t here. So when I take there, I'll remain with 5x equals 7t plus c xt. And t is appearing on two expressions, which I cannot add. So if you cannot add these expressions, the only way you can be able to factorize it, to make it t the subject, you have to factorize. When I factorize t, what do I remain with? I'll remain with 7 plus x, then you divide by 7 plus x, and then your t will be that 3 max. Question 18. Question 18 is about trigonometry, sine rule and cosine rule. The first one is it's going to be sine rule because they're asking you the value of x. And when you check in this triangle, you have two sides looking for second angle. That will be sine rule. So sine x over the side opposite to that should be the same sine of this angle over this one. Do you get that? This side and this one. Because we know that sine A over side A equals to sine B over B. And if you have, because you can even do sine angle C, capital C over side C. Is that okay? That's the formula I'm applying. So this will be sine XC over this one, and then this one cross multiply. Actually, not cross multiply, just multiply this on the other side. Okay, whenever you're looking for the angle, put the signs on top. When you're looking for the missing side, put side is on the top. I'm talking about A over sine angle A equals to side B over sine angle B, okay? Then C over sine angle C. You go with this one when you're looking up, you're finding the missing sides, and then you go with this one when you're finding the missing angle. And for our question here, we are looking for angle, therefore I have to go with that. So when I multiply this on the other side, I'm going to have that, type this in a calculator, and then you're going to have this. Are we together? Very good. Then the next question, they're asking you why. They are asking you the angle, but you don't have any other angle. And that one means it's going to be cosine rule, okay? Cosine rule is A squared equals to B squared plus B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cos angle A, okay? So because I'm looking for Y, this is the one I have to subtract. So it's going to be cos Y. This one you're looking for side is, by the way, when you're looking for the angle, cos angle A, it will be given by, I'm looking cos A. So it's going to be B squared plus C squared minus A squared over 2BC. Okay, do you get that? And the formulas, they are given, you can check them, but there's nothing wrong in knowing them in your head. If you have them in your head, it will always help you, and it's going to help you to do the questions and easily understand them very fast. Okay, very good. Now, that's why now here, if I go to the triangle, so this is the angle, so it will be this side squared plus this side squared minus that. That's what I did here. Then you type this in a calculator and make sure calculator is in degrees, and that is your answer here. Question 19. Fx equals to 5 for x, and g of x equals to that, and h of x is that. They said find f for 5. It's just substituting here, which is 5 for 5. You type that in the calculator, and then it gives you that. They said find g of 8x. That means where there is x in g, you put there 8x. So it's here. So it's going to be 3 bracket 8x minus 2. And then when you simplify, you're going to have that. Then they said find the inverse. If I'm finding the inverse of the function, step 1, you write y equals the function given. They said inverse of g, so it's y equals to that. Y equals the function given. Then you swap x and y. Then make y the subject. That's what I did here. And then you get your g inverse of your function. Find the positive solution of gh of x equals to that. So I have to put h of x into g. Do you get that, guys? So when I put it there, that means it will give me 3. If you don't remember, g of x is here, guys. G of x is that. So g of x is 3x minus 2. And I'm putting there h of x. And h of x here from the question, h of x is x squared plus 1. That's why you see plus 1. That's why you see here I have that. So 3 bracket x squared plus 1 minus 2. Open the bracket. Actually, correct have that the easier way. Take this on the other side. I'll get 3x squared plus 1. Then equals 364 plus 2. Then will give me 368. Divide by 3 both sides. It's giving me, I divide by 3 both sides. I'll get x squared plus 1 equals 222. Then 1, you take it on the other side. I'll get x squared equals 221. And square root of 121 will give me positive plus or minus 11. But the question said positive solution. So the answer will be positive 11. Guys, square root of any number is always positive or negative, okay? Don't forget that. In this situation, we are just giving only the positive value because that's what they're asking you, okay? Question E. They told you find f of f inverse of 12. This question is easy and it's 1 mark, okay? The simple trick in the question is just to know that f inverse of x when is equal to x, whenever is equal to x, therefore I have to use the same trick and then the answer will be 12, okay? Question 20 is about differentiation. Very important topic, by the way, in math, in general, IGCSE, IBDP, even in A-level mathematics, differentiation, derivative, very important, okay? Now, I use the formula y equals to ax power n and dy over dx will be equal to dy over dx is going to be n a x power n minus 1. That's what I did. For instance, if I say y equals, it's an example, x equals to 6, so the derivative of this is going to be 6x power 5. You bring this one in front and you do minus on the power. So that's what the one I've just applied. So this is x power 3. You bring 3 in front, you do minus on the power, gives you that. 3x squared. You get 3 times 2, gives me 6x. 2 minus 1 gives me power 1. The minus 13x here, the power is 1. If I multiply 13, I'll get 13. And 1 minus 1 will give me 0. And the n non-zero number, n number power 0 equals to 1. Okay, that's why you see I don't have x here. By the way, I've made a video explaining why n number power 0 equals to 1. N non-zero number equals to 1. I've made a very good video proving why that one is mathematically true, and I use 2 methods, okay? Very good. The gradient of the curve, dy over dx, you have to know it's a gradient, right? Dy over dx, you have to know it's the gradient. Dy over dx is the gradient. So it's m. So now we have already got the gradient in terms of x. So put there x as 3. So when I substitute there, I'll get 3 bracket 3 squared plus 6 bracket 3 minus 12. So you type that in the calculator, your gradient of the curve at x equals 3 given by this. Okay. This is another question. Address maker, sorry, takes 75 hours to make that one dresses. In 1 week, she takes a total of 12 hours and 30 minutes to make the first 4 dresses. In the second week, she makes the remaining 27 dresses at a constant hour rate. That's very important, okay? Good. Now, the question is, work out the percentage increase in her hour rate, okay? In terms of 1 hour, how long does it take? Now, the question here, let me do the question. 12 hours, 30 minutes is 12.5, okay? Because 30 minutes is divided by 60 is going to give me 0.5. And 0.5 plus 12 gives me 12.5. And now, if I've made 4 dresses in 12.5 hours, so how many dresses am I making in 1 hour? So get 4 divided by 12.5, you get the number of dresses made per hour. Okay, is that okay? Now, he spent how many hours in total? 75. But in the first 1 week, he spent 12.5. So I get 75 minus 12.5 gives me 62.5. Now, these are the hours spent in the second week. Now, but in the first week, he did what? He spent 12 hours, 12.5 hours, and he made 4 dresses. And the total dresses that were supposed to be made are how many? 31. So you get 31 minus 4 to know the number of dresses made in the second week. And how many hours spent in the second week? This. So how he was making 72 dresses. These are number of dresses made, and these are number of hours. So he was making how many dresses per hour? When you work out is this one. These are number of dresses per hour. Now, in the first week, these are number of dresses he was making per hour. And these are number of hours, of dresses made in the second week per hour. So what's the increase? The increase is going to be this one minus that. But they said percentage increase. So you get this minus that to get the increase, divided by the original one, which was 0.32 times 100, and then gives you 35%. I hope you have understood that. Very good question of 4 marks, and there's no cramming here. You should understand what is happening, okay? Because percentage increase or decrease, you just find the increase over original number times 100%. That's the formula I've used, okay? Question 22, it's about similarity. Simple basic thing is just think this angle is similar to that, this angle is similar to that, and this one is similar to this angle as well. Is that okay, guys? I hope you have understood that. So what does that mean? It means if I get this side divided by this side, it should be the same as this divided by that, because they are similar triangles. So when I reached here now, I did cross multiplication and then gives you this. It's better they didn't put their units. It's better here to put their units. Most of the time for IGCSE, they'll put their units. If they have not put them there, please, because they're in millimeters, put them there, okay? Very important, okay? Very good. Question B. The surface area of the 2 mathematically similar containers are this. The surface area, they talk about the area. Area for the smaller part is that, smaller shape or container, and the big container has that. Now, you have to remember this guy. The scale factor for sides is given by that. Big side divided by small side. Now, when the area comes in, it becomes, that is area scale factor. This is linear scale factor. The area scale factor will be given by this. Big area divided by small. For volume, will be volume scale factor will be given by V2 over V1. Big volume over small volume. Now, basing on this formula, because I have two areas, so I'll use the area scale factor. You see, that's the one I'm using. So the area scale factor will be given by the big area divided by small area. So that's what it gives me. When you simplify that, it will give you k squared equals to 9 over 4. Basically, if I have that, I do square root. That's the linear scale factor. And after getting linear scale factor, I need to remember that volume is given by this. Okay? The volume is given by this. So that's why I did volume scale factor. Volume scale factor equals to big volume over small volume. The linear scale factor is 3 over 2. That's why I did 3 over 2 power 3 equals to big volume over small volume, because they told you the small volume is that. So cross multiplication. So V2 will be equal to 3 over 2 power 3 times that, and work out that in the calculator, and that is it. 3 marks in the exam. Very good. Question 23. This question is about statistics, histogram, so which is very important for you as well. Okay, you should also be able to draw histogram, by the way, and it's very common in the exam. Now, this is the frequency table given of grouped data. Then the first part, they said calculate estimate mean. So if you are doing, if you are calculating estimate mean, you always need midpoint. Midpoint means you get this plus this divide by 2. So when you get 180 plus 200 divide by 2, you're going to get that. This plus that divide by 2 gives me that. This one plus this, you get that? Divide by 2 gives me that. This one plus that divide by 2 gives me that. Now, after getting your midpoint now, you get the midpoint times the frequency. That's why you see I have 190 times 32. Midpoint times frequency plus midpoint times frequency. Midpoint times frequency. Midpoint times frequency. You add and divide by the total number of frequency, 32 plus 64 plus 72, 74 plus 30, and if you add them, gives you that. Have you understood, guys? I hope you have understood, okay? Now, type that in your calculator. When you type that in your calculator, then you are going to get your estimate mean as that. Most of the times, you can even predict if your answer is correct or not. So check, your estimate mean is 208. So if you check, it's close to these two numbers. You see that? So these are the ones with the highest frequency. Most of the times, mod is very close to the, mean, estimate mean is very close to modulo class. That's what I mean, okay? Very good. Now, question B. Sarah draws a histogram to show this information. The table shows the height of one of the bars for this histogram. Now, how do we draw histogram? Histogram, this is just a simple sketch for you. On y-axis, we should have FD. FD is the frequency density. Here now they are class. It's our classes, right? And I say classes, I mean this. That's what we should have. So how do we get the frequency density now? Frequency density is the frequency of a class width. Now, fast forward. I think I calculated it here. Now, I decided by calculating frequency density of each. So from here, the frequency density is going to be 32 divided by the class width. 200 minus 180 is 20. Do you get that? What about here? Okay. Here will be 64 divided by 10. Do you see that? What about here? 74. Because we said frequency density is the frequency density is frequency of a class width divided by, this is the 5, right? Okay, very good. And what about this one? Will be 30 divided by 15. That is your frequency density. That's why you see, that's what I was calculating here. Frequency density of the class one is that, frequency density of the second one, third, and fourth. Now, the trick in the question, after the frequency density of here is what? It is 14.8. Here, this is that. The frequency density here is 14.8. Now, frequency density is represented, proportion is representing 7.4, which is that. So if 14.8 is represented by that, 1 will be represented by what? It will be 0.5. Now, 0.5 times every frequency density. So 0.8 times 0.5. That's why you see, no, frequency density, sorry, my bad. Frequency density 1.6 times 0.5 gives you that. Then you multiply here. The frequency density, the next one, times 0.5. Work out. And these are the heights corresponding to the histogram. So normally, whenever it's a very common question in the exam, you first get your frequency density as usual, and then you compare the heights given, and then you do your calculation. After getting your frequency density, get the frequency density times the presentation of 1 unit, which is 0.5. And I got that one by using this and this, because that's what was given. Thank you. Question 24. 3D shapes, okay, of trigonometry. They said find EF. Now, in the question here, they gave you this side, they gave you that and that. So the easier way is to draw your right angle triangle and then work out. I decided to draw a right angle triangle straight. You see that? Come down and then you make a right angle triangle. So this is E, this is A, and this is G. So this is 6.4 and this is 13, as you can see here. So then EG, because I can't find this side without having this, because after getting that, the diagonal of the base, I'll be able to get EF. So do Pythagoras theorem, which will be 13 squared minus 4.6 squared, and that will give you that. And when you find the square root of that, it will give you that. Now, from there now, I have the base. I have what? The base. And I have the diagonal. The diagonal is this. So, and now you want to get this side. So the diagonal is this one. That's what you have here. And then you have that. So you do Pythagoras theorem, so which will be this answer minus that, because this one, you see this, is the one you have here. So when you subtract that, and that gives you this one. Calculate the angle between, so back to my triangle. So you just need to do SOHCAHTOA, opposite hypotenuse, that side. So sin theta is 6.4 over 13, and sin inverse of that will give you this one, okay? Thank you. Question 25. This is about upper bound and lower bound, and it is about subtraction, which you need to know very well. They told you they have a length, which is normally that, and they said correct to the nearest centimeter. Basically means you have to do 68 plus or minus 1 over 2, and 1 over 2 is 0.5. This is upper bound of my length, and this is the lower bound. Now, from this wire, she cuts off 2 smaller pieces. A piece of length is that, correct to the nearest millimeter. Nearest millimeter, basically means will be, because this is centimeters, so it will be 0.1, sorry, 0.1 divided by 2, then you get 0.05. Okay, and if you have that, you do it plus or minus, you get upper bound and lower bound. Exactly the same here, so it will give you upper bound and lower bound. Work out the lower bound and the upper bound of the length of the wire remaining. So they are cutting, they are subtracting. Now, whenever you're doing with subtraction or division and you have upper bounds and lower bounds, the trick in the question is this one. If you're looking for lower bound, you have to get, if you're looking for lower bound, you have to get, you're subtracting or dividing. This time we're subtracting. So I have to get lower bound minus the upper bound of this, because that's when I'm going to get the smallest number. So for instance, if I have 4 minus 2 and you have 4 minus 3, which one is bigger? This is 2 and this is 1. So when you take away big number, that's when you're going to have lower bound. So that's why you get your lower bound minus the upper bounds of your side. So upper bound of the upper bound of that is this, and upper bound of that is that. So I get my lower bound. Now, getting upper bound, I have to get my upper bound of what I'm subtracting minus the sum of lower bound. Excuse me. So that's why you see I did lower bound of the here, and also here I did lower bound. Okay, I hope you have understood that. So it gives you this and that. Very good. Okay, next question. Question 26. Question 26 is about it's vector question. So let us try to analyze the question, and then we see if we can do the question very well. Okay. Now, this question, they told you we have M. This is M here. You see that? And then the whole of this is the P. But they told us F is the point on BC. F is the point on BC. F is here, guys. Okay, this is your F. Now, and BF is 4 times of CF. BF is bigger. So basically, it's BF, which is 4 times CF. So I want to write it in terms of ratios. That's when you're going to understand that. So BF is 4 times of what? Of CF. Meaning this is 1 because this is bigger, and this is 4 times. I can give you an example here. If 4 times your age and you are 10, my age is going to be 40. So in other words, I'm 4 times your age. So BF is 4 times the FC. So if that's the case, FC is 1 and the BF is 4. So the total ratio is 5. So BF is going to be 4 over total ratio, which is 5 of the whole line. The whole line is P. And then CF will be equal to 1 over 5 of P. Okay, that's why you see I have this one here. Okay, guys, do you understand? Very good. Now, for the second one, they said E is a point on AD, such that AF is AE to ED is 1 to 2. Again, the total ratio here now will be 3. So this part is going to be 1 over 3 of P, because this is P. That's why you see I have 1 over 3P. And this one will be 2 over total ratio, which is 1 plus, total ratio is 1 plus 2, which is 3. So it will give you 2 over 3 of P. Then they said find EF in terms of M and P in the simplest form. Now, there are many ways I can approach the question, but I prefer to go this way. EF, this is the one they're talking about. EF, this is that. So I decided to go like this. Let me use a different color for you to see what I'm talking about. I decided to go with this, from here to here, because in vectors, as long as you have a starting point and then back to here. So that's why I did EF is equal to ED plus DC plus CF. Now, from what we have here, this is 2 over 3P plus M, 2 over, let me repeat, ED is 2 over 3P plus DC, which is M. And this is because I'm changing the direction, it will be minus 1 over P. So we correct like terms to P over 3 minus 1 over 5P plus P. LCM of 3 and 5 will be 15, and then this one will give me 10P minus 3P plus M. And when you work out that, it will give you this one, okay? Which you can write like this or that one. Now, next question, question B. EF and DC, EF, this is that, and DC, they are extended and they meet at a certain point G. That's your G point, okay? That's the one they're talking about. Are we together here? Now, find CG. Now, this question, because I know this side is parallel to this, I decided to pick this triangle. This is that triangle EDCGE, the whole of that. So let me go to the question here. Now, this is 2 over 3P. This is M. This one, I don't know, it's X. But this one is 1 over 5P. And if I use similarity of proportions, so I'm going to work out. Remember, this is 2 over 5P. This is M. And this is 1 over 5P. And the question, this is G here, guys. They're asking me to find, this was it D? And then they said find C. Okay, this was C here. They asked me to find CG. CG is X, okay? Now, knowing the similarity, and I have this side and this side, and consider big triangle, I got 2 over, this was 3 here. Okay? This is 2 over 3P. So do this side here, divided by that, will be equal to the whole of big side divided by that. Okay, similarity. So 2p over 3 divided by 1 over 5p equals to the whole side of my triangle, DC, the whole of that, divided by the side of a small triangle, which is x. So m plus c, x over x. Now, simplifying here, we need to do simple simplification. This one basically we simplify with that, and then I will remain with 2 over 3 divided by 1 over 5. So which will be 2 over 3 times 5 over 1, and that gives me 10 over 3. Altogether, that's why you see I have here. So 10 over 3 equals to m plus x, m plus x over x, cross multiply. I'll get 10x equals to 3m plus 3x. Correct like terms, 10x minus 3x equals to 3m. 3x is equal to 3m. And when you divide, I'll get this. Remember, x is my CG. Easy as the pie. Okay? I hope you have understood, guys. Okay, that was the last question. So I'm planning to do the next questions. Today I did 4-3. I'm planning to do 4-2 and 4-1 of October, November 2025. I've done most of 2025 May papers. So if you want to watch them, you can go and watch them on my YouTube channel, EK Math We Love Mathematics. Thank you for watching. Thank you for coming, EK Math We Love Mathematics. Okay? Thank you. Like, share, and